What's going on? VitalSyntax here. I'm going to give you guys an initial review for Far Cry 3, or first impressions, whatever you want to call it. Basically, I'm just talking about how I like the game so far, even though I haven't completed it, to kind of give you guys a review as quickly as possible if you're somebody that's interested in buying it. But if you actually want to review like a rating, then obviously you want to go somewhere that actually knows what they're doing. But as far as the ratings go, as far as Metacritic, which is kind of a collection of a lot of different review sites, I think this game's sitting somewhere in the high 80s, low 90s, depending on which platform you're on. But I'm not going to give the score. I'm not going to give the game like a rating score. I'm just going to talk about what the things I like so far and some of the things I didn't like. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. So anyway, let's first talk about the graphics, because the graphics are kind of something that Far Cry 3 has kind of been known for. Far Cry 2 is an amazing game when it came out. It was quite impressive. Now, this isn't running on the Cry engine. The first game was, and it was made by Crytek, but now it's being published by Ubisoft instead of EA and being developed by a different company, and it runs on a different game engine, but it still looks absolutely fantastic. The colors are very saturated, and that's a artistic choice. So I don't think they're necessarily going for realism here. There's a little bit of a cartoonish feel to the graphics, but still it has an insanely good amount of detail and realism, even though they're not necessarily aiming for that. So everything from the grass, the water, the lighting effects, the textures is just phenomenal. I'm running this on a SLI setup with two 570s and a 2600K at 4.8 gigahertz. So typically, say for example Battlefield on max settings, I can get 70 to 80 frames per second, whereas in Far Cry 3 it's running at like 30 or 32 or something like that. So it's playable, but I'll probably turn down some of the things like the anti-aliasing and turn down some of the things like the ambient occlusion to get a higher frame rate, just because it's a little hard to play at 30 frames per second. But it looks absolutely amazing, and all the gameplay I've recorded so far was playing at the highest possible settings. So that's what you guys are seeing here. Now, it's an open world game, right? And it's probably one of the best open world games to come out in a while, and it is the most fun I've had with any game, period, since I played Skyrim for the very first time when that came out. Now, if you're wondering how I'm playing this game early, if you're watching this game, watching this video at an early time, it's not out in the US until December 4th, but it came out on, or I guess last night, in Germany, I believe in a couple other places. So if you use a VPN, if you're on the PC, and change your IP address to a different location, I'm not recommending you do this because it is technically against Steam's end user agreement, but if you want to, that's how you can play the game a little bit early. Although if you're watching this at a later time, that's probably going to be irrelevant. So it is an open world game. You have objectives to go and find different areas and explore and do different objectives, and basically the main objective is to find your friends, which have been taken by pirates. But it's a lot like Skyrim in the sense that you'll go out and do something and end up getting distracted by like 20 other different things. Everything from hunting to gathering flowers and different types of plants to make ingredients. You can skin animals. There's a whole crafting tree where you can make different items, like make your backpack bigger, get a bigger wallet so you can hold more money, get a bigger holster so you can hold more weapons, get a bigger arrow quiver so you can hold more arrows. There's just a ton of stuff that you can do as far as crafting and creating things. There's also a ton of different guns, and there's also upgrades that you can do to those guns. You can add things like extended mags, you could add things like red dot sights. So there's a lot of different options there. And as far as weapons go, you have everything from pistols, submachine guns, shotguns, sniper rifles, rocket launchers, light machine guns. I mean, it's basically the whole array of weapons. I wouldn't say that there's a ton of weapons, but there's a good variety. I mean, there's like somewhere between 2 to 5 per category. The assault rifles has them probably the most, whereas something like the rocket launchers or sniper rifles only has like 2 or 3. As far as the scale of this game, it is massive. I don't know the exact measurement, and I can't really compare it because I haven't explored, I barely explored any of the game because I've only been playing for like 3 or 4 hours, and that's not nearly enough time to explore this massive island. And there's actually 2 different islands in the single player. There's a North Island and a South Island, and then there's also different islands for the co-op and multiplayer. So there's a whole separate island for the multiplayer and a whole separate island for the cooperative missions. Now, I'm not super interested in the multiplayer and co-op, although I will make some videos. I'll probably do a co-op game or playthrough when I get some buddies with mics that we can play through this game or play through the co-op together. And I'll probably do some multiplayer videos as well, because I know you guys will like to see that. Although really this game is a single player game. That's what it's all about. If you're buying this game for anything other than single player, then you might be disappointed. But you know, if you're somebody that enjoyed things like Skyrim or Fallout or the previous Far Cry games, this is going to be one of the best games this year. For me, it's probably going to be the game of the year. So just keep that in mind. If you guys haven't purchased it, you guys probably should. It's coming out at a really good time too, so I guess if you're somebody that can ask for it for Christmas or something from your parents, then that would be a good thing to do. Now, there's a bunch of different hunting that you can do. There's tons of different animals. There's sheep, there's pigs, there's tigers, there's bears, there's Komodo dragons, there's everything. It's just insane how many different animals there are. You can kill them all. You can skin them and take their skin, or if it's a turtle, you take their shell, and you can use those for crafting things, just like the stuff I went over earlier. So there is just so much to do in this game, and I really haven't got too much into the story because I've just been exploring and doing a bunch of different side quests and just finding and exploring different areas of the map. There's also a really cool mechanic where there's different locations around the map that actually will be like a mini game, and there's a lot of these. The only one I've come across so far, although I know there's others because I saw them in the trailer, where you can do things like throw knives or like play cards and things like that. But the one I did, I think it's the same type of idea, but I went to this location on the map that was marked on my mini map, and when I got there, it told me to kill as many enemies as I could, and it gave me unlimited ammo, and the enemies keep respawning in a set amount of time. And it's like a competitive thing you can actually do, and you get like scores, and it goes on a leaderboard, and you can compare scores with the rest of the people playing the game or just your friends, things like that. So it's almost like a mini game within the game, and it's really, really cool that they did that, because you can play that mini game over and over and over, try and get the highest score. And I played it like 4 times, although I didn't do very good because I was only playing at 30 frames per second. And to be honest, it's pretty hard to shoot anything that's moving when it's 30 frames per second, at least for me, when I'm used to 120 plus. But anyway, just overall, I'm incredibly impressed with everything about this game. Everything from the graphics, the gameplay, the animations are insanely awesome. The amount of detail and the amount of something in Skyrim that not necessarily it was bad, but there was a lot of open area that didn't really have anything to do. Partly just because Skyrim was so big, but where I feel like Far Cry is a little bit more dense, you know what I mean? It feels like going around every corner there was literally something to do, somebody to save, pirates to kill. So I feel like it's really, really, really dense, and it's just insanely fun. There's a lot of different stealth mechanics. You can spot enemies with your camera, and you'll be able to see them through walls and see their locations. So you can throw rocks and act as a distraction. You can knife them with being completely silent. There's also a bow and arrow that you can use. That's really, really cool. So overall, this game is absolutely amazing. I honestly can't think of anything to complain about it at this point. I'm sure we'll find something, but if you guys haven't picked this game up, definitely consider it. Unless you're somebody that doesn't enjoy single player games and you're only a multiplayer guy, then yeah, I don't know if it's the best game for you. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, I always mess up on the found it helpful. That's what I did last time. Anyway, if you found it helpful, feel free to give me a like or a favorite, and remember to subscribe, because I'll be doing lots more Far Cry videos in the next couple days. Alright, see ya.